Hello, and welcome. I am Webweaver, and I'm so glad you have found my channel here today. This is where I do a weekly Outlook tarot reading, just to kind of give us a heads up as to what might be coming our direction this week. We're going to do this quick as possible here. It's much later than I wanted to be on, but it's been a day. So, as always, these readings are for entertainment purposes only. And I am using the Steampunk Tarot deck by Barbara Moore, illustrated by Ali Fell. And we will get started. This is going to be for April 6th. So 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, through the 12th. All right. And I'm sorry, my brain is fried today. I'm working on some accounting lessons and then getting caught up on news. So I'm just, am I done for today? Let me tell you. All right. All right. We need to know for the week ahead. What's our message for this week? We need to know for the week ahead. What's our message for this week? We need to know for the week ahead. What's our message for this week? We need to know for the week ahead. All right, I'm going to stop there. All right. Monday. We have the Magician. Let me make sure I've got that lined up right. Okay. So we have the Magician. The Magician is when we think of it's the using elemental magic. It's your personal power, being connected. A lot of the imagery has the hermetic symbolism in it. So connecting with the elements, connecting with your personal power and your connections to nature, manifesting, using your knowledge, using your will, using the resources you have to create change. The Magician is manifesting. So tomorrow there will be an opportunity, or there may be an opportunity for you to use your skills and your confidence and your willpower to manifest something, to take action in some way. The quote for this card, all of the cards in this deck have a little quote in the book. The quote for this card is, "Magic is always there, learn to feel it." All right, so for Tuesday, we have the Two of Swords. So Swords is air, which is very intellectual, thinking, weighing options, and twos tend to be a balance of some sort. So with the Two of Swords, you can see that she is kind of balancing on something there. It's almost like she's walking a tightrope or something, but I don't see a rope. I just see like lightning or something. But with the Two of Swords, it tends to be, you need to make sure that your emotions are balanced. You may have blocked emotions. You might be avoiding something, putting up unhealthy boundaries. Your heart and your mind are not in agreement. So we need to find a balance between the heart and the mind. It may involve a decision that needs to be made, but we need to get our heart and mind into balance. So what we know is good for us and what we feel in our heart we should do, we need to make sure that those things are together, because there's a good chance they may not be in some way. So the quote for that card is, la 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 la, I can't hear you, just a bit occupied at the moment, please go away. All right, so Wednesday, we have the Six of Cups. So we are moving from the airy realm of swords into the emotional realm of cups. So cups are emotions, they are psychic abilities, things of that nature. In that picture, it looks like an individual is giving another one a set of flowers. This card has to do with goodwill. It has to do with innocence. It could tie into childhood, happy memories. But this card is telling us to tap into those childlike emotions, that childlike innocence. Excuse me. Let your imagination soar, right? Tap into that childlike energy that as grown-ups we often forget about, or we let slide by the wayside. But allow yourself to feel that childlike energy once again on Wednesday. So the quote for this card is, in the midst of grime and despair, the smallest act becomes unspeakably beautiful. So that is the Six of Cups. All right, so for Thursday, we have the Knight of Wands. We're just hitting it all up here today. So wands are fire. So that is as a fire sign. We are also in the sign of Aries right now, which is part of the astrology of what's happening here this month, and the crazies that are going on this month. But the Knight of Wands, knights tend to be people of action, or taking action, or maybe a stalled action, depending on the suit. For the Knight of Wands, this is someone who is taking action. In a lot of the decks, this is the one knight that actually looks like it's moving. So when it comes to wands and it comes to fire, this is self-confidence, being adventurous, passionate. So it might mean making a bold move. It might mean that you are possibly looking at a promotion or a new job, or some kind of change may be coming, but it's if you take action. You need to be taking action. If this is a person in your life, this is someone who acts based on their will, their inspiration, and their passion. So the quote for this card is, I assure you, I do not need to read those hieroglyphs in order to conquer this situation. So somebody who is moving forward with their willpower rather than stopping to read in intellectual pursuits. All right, so Friday we have the Seven of Pentacles. We really are hitting all the elements this week. The Seven of Pentacles has to do with the physical realm. It can be earth. It can be possessions. It can be health. It can be money. Those are all things that tie into the Pentacles. So for Seven of Pentacles, if you look at this picture, obviously something has been grown here. There is a plant of some sort growing on this trellis of Seven Pentacles. And the individual who is looking at it is taking assessment of it, right? There's a book there with a pen, taking note of what has been grown. So this card is generally looked at as harvesting, reaping the fruits of your labor, whatever it is you have planted. Taking an assessment of what you are harvesting. Is it going to be enough? Am I going to have to supplement something? It could also be satisfaction for a job well done. You have reaped the fruits of your harvest. Well done. But it's generally looking at, okay, I've been successful. How successful? Let me take stock of how successful, so I can make plans based on that success or lack thereof. But this card generally does mean success, and it can mean change of direction if you need to adjust things based on the harvest. So the quote for this card is, how does reality measure up to your expectations? Let me tell you the ways. No, I will keep this positive. I'm very tired and emotional, if you will. So for Saturday, we have the 7 of Wands. So once again, we are back into the realm of Wands and the realm of fire. And with 7, this tends to mean when I look at this card and I see it, she's standing here ready to fight off unseen foes down here, right? This is a challenge for her, but it's a challenge that she is going to enjoy. I mean, she looks like she is ready. Let's do it. Bring it on. So it can mean a conviction. It can mean aggression. It can mean testing your skills, overcoming obstacles, but doing it with a beneficial attitude, with wit and humor. It could be that you might feel like you're on the defensive, having to defend yourself. But it is a challenge where it's a challenge, but it's one that you're looking forward to, right? You know, something I enjoy doing is hiking. And yeah, there are some hikes that are challenging, but I look forward to them despite the fact that I know I'm going to be exhausted when I'm done. So the quote for this card is, what are you willing to die for? What are you willing to kill for? Is what that card quote is. And then Sunday, we have the 6 of Swords. So we're moving back into the realm of air. And you can see the individuals there are on an airship, which is fitting. But for the 6s, see with 7, it's a challenge, but for 6, it's that 5s are like conflict and contention, and then you have the challenges you enjoy with 7, and by the time you get to 8 or 9, things are ending. So 6s are, it's progress, but it's not necessarily challenging, but maybe not like full speed ahead. So it could have to do with feeling kind of bleh, with it being airy, the swords being airy. It might be that you need time to recover. Okay, we just got past the 5s. We've just had this struggle that we've overcome. We need a moment. We need a moment to breathe, right? It could mean travel because of it being air, and it could be communication traveling. It could be physical travel. But it is movement. It is progress. It is improvement. Smooth sailing ahead. You've gotten out of the struggle in the 5s. You are leaving a situation, possibly with help from someone else, and moving forward, sailing, right? But needing that moment of, oh, okay, let's regroup. So the quote for this card is, a lady always knows when it's time to leave. So there you have it. That is our week ahead. I hope that this helps guide you as you move through your week. If you would like to meditate on any of the images, feel free to pause the video. I will be back next Sunday with our next weekly reading. I hope you have a beneficial week, a restful week, and I hope that it does not get too crazy. Blessed be.